Hi guys, this is Fifi from the Sammy Nicole and Fifi show and from Keeping Up with Fifi. So today guys, this video is going to be for both channels. Please like, subscribe, and share to both of our channels. I know I talked to you guys in a previous video about doing a video on how I obtained my MBA. So I just want to go over a few points. I'm not going to make this video long, but people often ask me, how did you obtain your MBA? Why did you obtain your MBA? And why did you do it so late in life? Everybody that knows me knows that I am 50 plus years old. And so I just wanted to come and do this video just to answer some questions and just to give you some information about obtaining your MBA. Is it worth it? It can be quite expensive. It can be quite costly, but I'll get into that later in this video. So first, I just want to give you a history, a little bit on my background. Don't mind the nails. I'm transparent on this channel. I'm on my way to get my nails done as soon as I finish this video. So I wanted to just go over the history of what led up to me getting my MBA. So I come from a family of 4 siblings. I am the middle child. No one in my family had obtained any degrees in my immediate family. I do have cousins that have their degrees as well. I think I have a cousin that actually has her MBA. She's a teacher and she has her MBA. So, when I was growing up, education, my mom and dad really didn't push big thing about education. It was just make an honest living, be able to take care of yourself honestly, and, make a decent living. I come from the Midwest, from Indiana, from the steel mill area. So my dad worked in the steel mill for years. And my mother she worked in the school system. So I think my dad did go to college, I think up until his sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. But so I ended up going to a technical school. Actually, I ended up going to, if you're from the Midwest, Indiana Vocational Technical School, where I studied secretarial studies. And I became a transcriptionist. And actually, to be honest with you guys, and that's why I always say college is not for everybody. There was a delay for me, but it was for me. I actually went to this technical school and I got a trade. What kids really don't look at now, but I actually got a trade, and the trade was I learned how to type, and I was pretty good at typing. I could type, over 65 words a minute. So that gave me an opportunity to go into the medical field, where I became a transcriptionist, and I worked in the medical field, which I'm still in, and I've currently been in the medical field, non-clinical, for about 30 years now, which has allotted me to have a decent living and to be able to take care of myself, even when I was a single mother when Samantha was small. So I was able to land jobs doing transcriptionist, working in the front desk. I can do anything in the clinical setting, in the front office, billing, AR, collections. The only thing that I can't do, I do know coding, but I'm not a certified coder. But anything that goes on in the front office, I can do it. That's what I've been doing for over 30 years on the professional side, which is the physician side, and the hospital side. So that allotted me to make a pretty decent living. I was an AR manager for about 8 years with the family practice. Didn't have a degree, just because I had the knowledge and just the way I carried myself. And I had learned so much over the years, I was able to be an asset to that company. So it allowed me to get a promotion. But I still had that hunger for a degree. And I would, with my undergrad, I started when Samantha probably was about 4 or 5. She had a sickness, so I would stop and start. But I started when she was about 4 and 5. I started my undergrad, and I would start and I would stop. And then as she got older and she got in school, and I was able to spend some time away from her, and she was able to pretty much be self-sufficient, then I said, okay, let me get more focused. So I ended up going to a couple of schools. I finished my associates first. Then I went on to try to combine my BA, my Bachelor's of Administration, and my MBA together. But it was just so overwhelming, guys. It was just so overwhelming for me to try to combine both of those together. Because at this point, I think I was in my late 30s, early 40s, and I just wanted to be done. My goal was to have my MBA before I got out of my 40s. That was my goal. But things happened in life and it didn't, it just didn't go like that for me. No regrets here. No regrets. Things happen in God's perfect timing, right? So to go back, so I wanted to combine my MBA, my Bachelor's of Administrations, which is called a dual degree. And guys, you can do that. Mercer offers a program like that. And that's where I was going at the time. I was at Mercer. And of course, all this was done non-traditionally. I actually went to school 3 nights a week. So I was a full-time mother, full-time student, and I had a full-time job. And I actually went to school 3 nights a week from 6 to 9:45 in the evening. I had a good support system. My sister would help me with Samantha. So I was good there as far as her. And Samantha was a good child, so I could, rely on her to do what she needed to do as far as her homework, prep for the next day. I really didn't have any worries for that. It was just mainly making sure that she had her meals the nights that I went to school. So I ended up, I couldn't do the dual degree. I couldn't finish. I got pretty much halfway through my Bachelor's of Administration, but I just couldn't balance taking all of those classes. And some girls that went to school with me, they were able to do it, and they were able to graduate with their Bachelor's of Administration and their MBA at the same time. But I had to split it up because it just got overwhelming, because like I said, the whole time I worked a full-time job. And guys, I can remember being on my lunch break, and when you want something, when you have the hunger for something, it's not easy, but you do what you have to do to achieve it and to get it. And so I had a mindset that I was going to have my MBA no matter what it took. I was going to do it. I can remember sitting in the car with my laptop, doing my homework on my lunch break, sacrificing eating, and just snacking on something just to do my homework, just to obtain my MBA. So as I got on to into the latter part of my MBA, I really didn't have any issues until it came to like calculus. Calculus almost killed me, guys. I'm just going to be honest. Pre-calculus and calculus. It's no joke. I'm not really good at math, but I managed it. I went to tutoring every day after work. Mercer has a good tutoring program, and I went to tutoring every day after work. I would work, say, from 8 to 5, get off work, go down to the school. Even when I didn't have any classes on that particular day, I would still go to tutoring because I was determined to get my MBA. That's just how determined I was. Okay, so I finished my Bachelor's of Administration, graduated with a 3.0, graduated from Mercer. So at this point, I'm in my 40s. So I've got that. Okay, so you still don't have your MBA. That's your goal. That's your personal goal and your financial goal. I've always wanted my MBA because I've always had the business sense of wanting to own my own business. Which you guys do know that I have a business consulting firm, innovative business consulting firm. It's LLC, it's licensed, and I've been in business now for over a year. So I always had that mindset of owning my own business. So I wanted my MBA. So I ended up trying to decide where I wanted to go for my MBA, which school to go to. Guys, there are some top schools in the MBA industry. Some employers look at where you got your MBA. They take it seriously. There are some top 10 colleges where you can go get your MBA. I went to Liberty, and I'm not sure. I don't think Liberty is on that list. Last time I checked, it wasn't, but it's in the top 100 places to get your MBA. And I got my MBA online, and it was not easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, it was a breeze. It was not easy for me. And something worth having is not easy. So I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Was it worth it? Yes. Was it easy? No. And it might have been easy be easier for some people, but for me, no. And I had a good support system, at the time. When I was married, my husband supported me. I can't take that away from him. My ex-husband supported me. Of course, Samantha did whatever she could to help me. It was just a lot of sacrifice and a lot of studying. I had to get a tutor. My ex-husband paid for me to get a tutor. So it was a lot of sacrificing, a lot of late nights, a lot of tears, because it was difficult. You really have to be fully invested in school to be able to accomplish, graduating. I mean, it's just not, it's a lot of papers. You have to write a lot of papers. And it's a lot of studying, and you work in groups, which that wasn't a problem for me working in a group. It's like whatever, I do my part, you do your part. But all the time it didn't work like that. It was always somebody that didn't do their part. But the great thing about obtaining my bachelor's of administration and my MBA, I was able to get tuition reimbursement. So I've always worked for large organizations that offered tuition reimbursement. The only time that I didn't is when I worked for a private practice, and I ended up leaving there, and I ended up getting back on the trail of obtaining my I actually started obtaining my bachelor's of administration before I left there. But I ended up going to work for this large healthcare corporation here in Atlanta that actually funded my undergrad, my bachelor's of administration. I actually was able to get tuition reimbursement. So that kind of helped with the cost of the MBA, because it is, $65K and up. So that actually helped. And then I went to another organization that helped me obtain my MBA with tuition reimbursement. So I was fortunate in the cost factor of obtaining my MBA, where I actually was able to get tuition reimbursement. So to fast forward, I ended up graduating with my MBA May of 2019. Okay, so here I am in 2020. Everybody know that I'm currently going through a divorce, and I'm working for this large healthcare corporation, which is pretty large, and which I think I'll have the opportunity to grow, and I'm positioning myself, and I'm actually growing. So, is it worth it? Was it worth it? Absolutely, because I'm able to position myself financially. I accomplished a self goal. It was a personal goal for me. I feel vindicated. I feel like I've achieved something that I wanted to achieve in life. It's a good example for my daughter that education is important. I don't care what people say. No, oh, you don't need it. You have the experience. I have a resume full of experience. I look good on paper without my MBA. I'm not bragging. I'm being humble. But my resume looks good without my 2 degrees. Because of my work history, the experience I have in the healthcare industry, and the lot of, different things I've done over the years. And that comes with, working. I've been, working, in the industry for 30 years, like I said. But I still needed it. I still need that education component to go along with all of my experience. I don't care what anybody says, I know now the millennials, they do, things online, they entrepreneurs. But I'm just a firm believer in education. I'm just a big advocate of being educated. That's just my belief. I'm not trying to push that on anybody here. That's just what I believe. I think that we as a people, we have to be educated. When we walk in the room, we have to have it. It's a game changer for us. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there, and I'm going to leave it alone, and you all decide. College is not for everybody. I'm not saying that. College is not for everybody. Even with my child, Samantha, if I would have saw something in her where she was more artsy, or she could go into a different direction, and not have to go to college, then I would have pushed her in that direction. But I saw that she was very intelligent, and she was academically able to go on. And of course, we know that she's about to finish her master's in public health. She graduates in May. So I'm just saying that, you know, people say, well, why did you need it? You know, why did you need it this late in life? You know, you already have experience. You've been a manager before. Because I needed that component. When I walk in the room, I have to have it. It's behind my name, and it makes a difference in corporate America. Where I work, I'm just being honest with you guys. Okay? Now, if I didn't have it, would I be able to make moves? You know, with just my experience? Probably so. Probably so. But it makes a difference, you know. Are there anybody at my company that don't have degrees and in leadership positions? I'm really not sure. But I thought that I needed it, and it has been beneficial to me so far. Even after a year, it hadn't even been a year. May 2020 will be a year since I obtained my MBA. I graduated. You have to graduate with, I think I graduated with a 3.4, somewhere in there. So I did pretty well, pretty good, you know, obtaining it. It was just, you know, you have to be real focused. You have to be real disciplined, especially if you're going to do it online like I did. I went to Liberty University and I did it online. But I think it was worth it. I think obtaining your MBA, you know, especially for, you know, millennials, I think if you have that business sense, and I can do a lot with it. I can do a lot because of my background. I can go in the healthcare industry. I can stay in the healthcare industry, or I can go outside the healthcare industry and go, you know, I can be a project manager. I can be a business analyst. I can be a VP, you know, and I looked at the stats, and most people that have their MBA make 6 figures. I'm not going to tell you what I make, but they're pretty comfortable. So, and I went to school with I have a friend that actually has hers, and she does pretty well for herself. You know, I often hear people say, you know, having your master's now, everybody has their master's. No, everybody doesn't have their master's. And it's not easy to get. If you get it from an accredited school, my degree has a seal on it. And I worked for every credit hour to earn it. Nobody didn't give it to me. It was not easy. As a matter of fact, the grading scale for Liberty Online was a couple of, I know they took the points up 5 points. What a B would be normally at another school, it was a C at Liberty. So yes, it was definitely a win-win for me as far as especially positioning myself with going through a divorce. You know, I would have been financially okay anyway if I didn't have it, because God will provide for me no matter what. But yes, having an MBA or having higher education is beneficial. It may not be for everybody. College is not for everybody. As a parent, you know your children, you know what's good for them. You know, if they're college material, you know. But I'm a firm believer in some type of trade, some type of skill set where you can make an honest living, you know. And so yes, obtaining your MBA can be quite costly, you know, but it will pay. It pays off at the end. It pays off at the end. So I enjoyed you guys watching this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. Make sure to like, subscribe to both channels, Keeping Up with Fifi and the Sammy, Nicole, and Fifi Show. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.